Yesterday I finished a 5-day trip to Tokyo, Japan, including a day trip to Mount Fuji. And there's a few things that cropped up during my trip that I wish I knew before I went, so we're gonna go through those now. So if you're planning a trip to Tokyo or Mount Fuji, this video will be perfect for you. These are things that I'd wish I'd known in advance, and if you want to see the content that came out of this Tokyo trip, don't forget to subscribe to be notified when that comes out. So the main thing I realized is that you need to book everything in advance, and I mean everything. Everything that could be ticketed, book in advance. My first mistake with this was the bullet train, which we'll get onto in a minute. Then there were a couple of interactive art galleries that I wanted to go to. They were sold out. The bus down to Fuji, we'll also get into this in a minute, sold out. The trains to Fuji, sold out. I did learn my lesson and book my Skytree tickets in advance, but not enough because I couldn't get any sunset spots. Basically everything with a ticket, including specific transportation, book it in advance. For example, these interactive art galleries that I wanted to go to by Team Labs, they looked amazing. I tried to go to the Team Labs Borderless. The reason I didn't book a ticket in advance is because I didn't know what the weather was gonna be like. I didn't know when I was gonna be doing what. The same with Fuji. I didn't know when I was gonna go to Fuji because I knew the weather was a bit hit and miss, so I didn't book these tickets in advance. One morning I woke up, it was absolutely bucketing it down with rain, so I decided to go and try this art gallery. Got all the way across town to there to find out it was sold out. So book everything in advance. For my style of travel, this is especially annoying because I don't like to have things rigidly booked in advance. I like to be able to go with the flow a bit more, but for Tokyo, I wish I had just booked up. So, the bullet train. First of all, book the bullet train in advance. I booked mine the day before, which was stupid for a few reasons. I could have got it cheaper if I'd booked earlier. The website I booked through could take up to a day to confirm the tickets, and I booked this less than 24 hours in advance. And because I left it so late, there were no seats with extra luggage space, which I didn't think would be an issue. If you've got a suitcase, you want those extra seats. I spent the entire journey with my legs like cramped up against my suitcase. It was not comfortable. But the positives of the bullet train, it is fast. Like I know they're fast, everyone knows they're fast, but they are fast. So just be aware that it may make you feel a bit ill. I don't really get motion sickness or anything like that, but for the first 5 to 10 minutes of the journey, I did feel a bit funny in my stomach, not enough to like feel like I was gonna be sick or anything or like nauseous. I was just like aware of like, whoa, we are moving at some serious pace. So just be aware of that if you're gonna get the bullet train, but I do recommend it because it was an insane experience. Traveling 200 miles an hour through Japan is just mental. On the note of trains, the metro in Tokyo is amazing, but get an IC card like as soon as you get there. I don't know if you can get them in advance, but get one as soon as possible. It's a card that you can top up. You can use it as contactless on your phone. It looked so much easier than doing it the way I did it, which was every time I went to a train station, I just bought a ticket then and there. It literally takes like a minute or two to buy a ticket. They're really easy to buy, but it would have been so much easier just to double tap my phone and tap. I don't think it saves you any money, it just saves you time and hassle. On the note of the metro, something I wasn't aware of until I ignorantly found out the hard way is that some of the metro trains do have women-only carriages. I spent 15 minutes sat in a women-only carriage wondering why I was getting dirty looks before I looked at the window, saw the big pink sticker that said women only. I then promptly moved down the train. Don't make my mistake, look for the signs that say women-only carriages. They are normally at one end of the train. Cash is very helpful in Japan overall from what I've gathered, but Tokyo specifically. There was a few ramen bars I ate at that only took cash. Paying for the metro was easier in cash because some of the machines just wouldn't accept my card. And I did find a few little shops and little stands at like temples and stuff like that, just preferred cash. Don't get me wrong, you will get around absolutely fine with card, but I just think cash was really helpful to have. I'm not normally one to carry cash, but I did find it was a lot easier to have some cash with me, and I did use it all up, so I thought it's worth mentioning. Bring or buy a raincoat. Now I went in cherry blossom season. It is notoriously a bit more wet in the season. I don't know what the weather gets like later in the year. I know like the other end of the year, September, October sort of time, it gets very, very hot and humid, but I think a raincoat is probably a great idea. It is Asia after all, so it's always a good idea to have a raincoat. But yeah, bring one or buy one. I did have one with me, but I also went to Uniqlo and picked up a new one just because I can and because I wanted one. But that was like a tenner. So if you don't bring one with you, or if you're watching this and you're already on your way to Tokyo, or you're already there, you can buy them pretty cheap. And finally, let's dive into Mount Fuji, everything you need to know about the day trip that I did. There's a few ways you can get to Mount Fuji from Tokyo. You could hop onto a day trip and do a day tour. I think they take 11 to 12 hours. You go down on a bus, they take you to a few different locations, all nice and easy. I'm more of the type that I'd rather just do it myself and then I get the freedom to do what I want. So if you're gonna do it yourself, there's a few other ways you can get there. You can cash out for a taxi, absolutely not gonna happen. Get a bus or you can get a train. My initial idea was to get the bus. You can get the bus from Shinjuku bus station. Book this in advance. I didn't book this in advance, A, because I didn't think you need to. The bus is like every 20 minutes. I thought I could just turn up at the station, get on a bus. No chance. You need to book your bus tickets in advance. At the station, I could sort of tell that you could probably book a day ahead. I'd probably try and book 2 days ahead. It was temperamental because of the weather. Like when I got there on the Monday, it said that the Thursday was gonna be crystal clear skies. Tuesday, Wednesday was gonna be cloudy. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go on Thursday. Held off booking. Tuesday comes around and it now says that Wednesday is crystal clear, Thursday's cloudy, Tuesday's cloudy. I could see that it was because it was Tuesday at this point. So I was like, okay, let's go for tomorrow now. Let's change the plan around, but let's see in the morning. Woke up nice and early in the morning. Beautiful blue skies. Bang up, let's go down to Fuji. Made my way to Shinjuku station, go to the bus terminal, walk up to the ticket counter and join the queue. Get to the machine and realize that all the buses until 2 p.m, at this point it was about 9 a.m, were sold out and there were no return buses that day with spaces. That's an issue. I was looking at the option of potentially just staying there for the night. If I could just get myself there, I'll figure out getting back sort of thing. But then I thought there must be another way there. There must be some sort of train I can get or something. So I went down to Shinjuku train station and with the help of a very friendly Australian lady, was able to sort out the tickets. Now I got really confused at this point, but they were basically, you can buy tickets of a specific seat on a specific train. That will cost you about £40 each way. Or, and I still don't even know the combination of screen tappy taps that she did to get this ticket. You could buy like a 2-day pass where it goes from Shinjuku to this place, because I can't say the name of it. You can get one journey there and you can get one journey back anytime within a 2-day period. And that costs £25. Nice. If you do this ticket, you're not guaranteed a seat. So if you get on the train, you'll see some lights above every seat. If the light is green, that means someone has booked that seat. If it's yellow, it means someone has booked that seat for the next stop. If it's red, it means it's empty, so you can sit in it. Oh, that is specifically the express trains. If you get the local trains, it's like a normal train, it's just a free-for-all. The express trains save you about half an hour on the journey. So I got the express train there. After getting off at the station, I was then charged an extra fee because something about the owners of the rail lines change halfway there. So you're meant to have 2 different tickets, but I didn't get charged that coming back. So I don't really understand. It was like an extra £7, I just paid it. But just be aware of that. If you get an express train there, you may get charged this extra £7. But if you get the local trains, they weren't charged. I don't know. But on the way back, I jumped on a local train, not an express train. This one took about 2 hours, just over 2 hours to get back to Shinjuku. But at least I got back, at least I got to see Fuji. And it was it was the highlight of my trip to Tokyo, was seeing Fuji. It was insane, it was crystal clear, it was beautiful. I actually got off the first train at this place and went up to this pagoda. I can't remember what the name of the pagoda is, but famous, you know the famous photo where you got the pagoda and you got Fuji in the background, you got cherry blossoms at the bottom. Absolutely stunning. I 100% recommend doing the walk up there. It's completely free, 100%, so worth it. However, to get this famous photo, you had to join a queue. And when I was there, I reckon that queue was about an hour long. And no, I didn't care enough to get the same photo that everyone else is gonna get to stand there for an hour. I'd rather make the most of my day. But now that I know that, this is what I would have done. I would have either booked my tickets in advance and got there really early in the morning, gone straight there and got that photo and done that viewpoint immediately. Or I would have done a night down in this town. And I would have stayed there for the night, got up nice and early and went up, got the pagoda, maybe even got it at sunrise, like just after sunrise. The lighting would have been absolutely gorgeous. But I would have done it like that. If you want that photo, you need to be there early. And if you're coming back from Mount Fuji back to Tokyo the same day, the last train when I was there was at 8:10. I did get an earlier one, but that's when the last train was, so just be aware of that. That is it. That is everything I wish I knew before I went to Tokyo, telling you guys so you don't make the same mistakes. Not that they were mistakes, it was a learning curve. We go over the flow, we roll with the punches. It is what it is, it makes the trip. But yeah, they're just things that I wish I'd known before.